Hey guys, and welcome the fuck back to my channel. If you are new here, click subscribe, click like, because I don't have a reason to just fucking do it. And I am Distorted Wonderland, and you're watching my fucked up shit show of a life. So, I am seriously making all the videos today that I've been putting off forever, because they're either embarrassing or they're just so uncomfortable to talk about, and I'm an open person, just there are certain things that I don't tend to talk about openly, especially to, the internet, which is pretty much the whole fucking world. But less dramatic. So yeah, I openly talk about my sex life when I had one, and the fact that I have had one in the past. I am not embarrassed about that. I think it's empowering being able to talk about your sex life, because people are like, oh my god, she talks about her sex. People are like, oh my god, she talks about her sex life, she must be a fucking slut. Yeah, no, that is sometimes the case, but not the case. And who fucking cares if a girl's a slut or a guy's a slut? Who actually fucking cares? Their body, their life, their fucking rules, they can do whatever the fuck they want with it, you know what I mean? So I got, like, no problems with that, but, like, it's so empowering being able to talk about your sex life, and I have very openly done it many, many times in the past. I am not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed of it. But it's not something that I really talk about much anymore. Because I don't have sex anymore. And I feel like it's a story time as well as an explanation. So I kind of got to take you back to the beginning, in a way. So, I think I'm going to start with the story time, and then I'm going to go into the reasons why I don't have sex. So, first things first, I lost my virginity when I was 15. And I lost it, and then I started whoring myself out of it. I call myself a whore. You don't have the right to call me a whore, and don't call anyone else a whore, ever. I'm just simply calling myself a fucking whore. Because I was a slut. Not a big deal. You know, I discovered sex and I just wanted to keep doing it. Wanted to keep trying new things, experimenting. I think that's a really common thing to do when you lose your virginity. At least I think it is. So I was sleeping with a whole lot of people, and people had this assumption about me that I was a fucking slut and would sleep with anybody. I got into relationships with people, and whether I was sleeping with them or not, the entire school thought that I was. And this dude, there was one dude in particular who really loved for me to be his little arm candy, because everyone thought that he was getting laid. He wasn't. But everyone thought it because of my reputation of being a slut and a skank and a fucking whore. And, that kind of lasted a short while, and then just before I turned 16, a couple months before I turned 16, I was sexually assaulted. By two people. And I stopped having sex for a long time after that. The thought of it just terrified me. It made me literally sick. And I was scared that if I were to have sex again, it would bring me back to that place, that time. And I was still getting a lot of flashbacks around that time. I still haven't fully recovered, I'm gonna be honest with you. But, I had definitely not recovered when I was 16 from this experience, from that sexual assault. And I got into a relationship with this girl who was physically abusive. But I'd never been in a relationship that was abusive before. So I didn't really understand that wasn't okay, and I really liked her, so I just kind of, like, dealt with it, really. But there was a few times where I woke up and her hands were down. She was touching me. And there was this one time where she would constantly try to push the idea of having sex with me onto me. she would constantly push the idea of having sex with her. And she got me really, really drunk one night, and then we had sex. And I don't remember if I did have a flashback or not. I was so fucking drunk, I barely remember actually sleeping with her. But the next morning, I just felt so disgusting. Like I had done something wrong. And then from there on out, I believed that I deserved the abuse that she gave me. And I know that makes no sense, and it doesn't really make full sense to me either. I'm just telling you how I felt in that time. And then when I was 17, I got into a relationship. And I was sexually active again. And I was having an amazing sex life. I was having sex like 3+ times a day sometimes. Every single day I was getting laid because I was in this relationship with this guy. Go watch my story time. And I had a really great sex life, and I was becoming a little bit of a slut again. Not a big deal. We were polyamorous, so I was sleeping with a few people, but when we fully got together, it was just me and him, and occasionally his other partner. And then there was occasionally some other people in the flat. Yeah, okay. And when I broke up with him, early 2016, I started seeing a few people, getting myself back out there. There was this one friend that I had. Oh, I've never talked about this before. There was this one very close friend I had who had helped me through the initial sexual assault. He knew everything. And we got drunk that night. And he tried to do some things. And he did some things. And I stopped having sex. I decided I want to be abstinent. And after that, I just got into a relationship with my ex-fiance. We got back together. That entire relationship, I didn't sleep with him. I didn't want to sleep with anybody. I wanted to be abstinent for me. I wanted to get me back. I wanted to claim that one part of me back again. That so many people have stolen from me. Have taken. Just because they fucking could. And being drunk is not a fucking excuse. I don't care who you are. Anyway, so I stopped having sex, and I stopped having sex for about 8 or 9 months, and then another ex-boyfriend who's a really close friend of mine came around, and I was like, hey, so I wanna give this up. I wanna give myself away. I'm choosing to give myself away. And you're the only person at this point in my life that I even remotely trust enough to do this, and he says that's the nicest pickup line anyone's ever said to me. It's a little bit funny. I wish I could retrieve those messages, but that was so long ago. And he came over and we had sex, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. But he was really gentle with me. He understood. He took things slower. He kept asking if I was okay. It was a really comfortable situation. Even though I was so fucking nervous and so scared, it was just he was really nice about it. And he completely understood my situation. And at that point, I didn't really have a sex drive anymore. Not having sex and being abstinent removed my sex drive from being part of me. That's the best way I can explain it. And so I kept trying after that. You know, every few months I would hook up with him or try to hook up with somebody else, and there was somebody else. There was 2 somebody else's over that year. And I went from having sex like 3 times a day to having sex 5 times a year. That was last year. And I can't open up that way to somebody anymore. Because I'm so scared that I'm going to get hurt. And that it's going to hurt, because I know that it's going to hurt. And every time I have sex, I bleed. And it's so painful. And my eating disorder has kind of gotten rid of my sex drive on top of that. And so I got into a relationship at the beginning of this year. And I realized that I just don't want to have sex. I'm not interested in it. I don't have a libido. I don't want to be close to somebody like that. And I guess that brings us up to date. But now I'm going to go through the reasons why I don't have sex on top of that. Painful endometriosis. I have endometriosis, if you aren't already aware. And so that's the reason why it's so painful and that I bleed. Sex is incredibly painful for me. And if it's painful, it's not enjoyable. So why would I want to do it? You know? Uncomfortable. It is incredibly uncomfortable. Just the whole situation, sweaty bodies, heavy breathing, someone on top of me. It's just being naked. It's not a fun time. I don't like being naked because I feel vulnerable. I feel exposed and I feel fat. It's not fun. Lack of sex drive. I think we covered that. Don't have a sex drive. Pressure. Oh. It seems like the only thing people want in a relationship is sex. The end goal is to have sex with them. I mean, I've dated a virgin and I dated a few virgins, and their end goal is to have sex and lose their fucking virginity. Like, it's like you get to a certain age, and then from then on out, every person you're with, dating, relationships, it's like they expect it from you. Because you've been sexually active in the past. Because you're of that age where you can't just have an innocent relationship. It has to be physical as well as emotional. And there's so much expectation that comes with that. And I mean, if you put out once to your partner, they're going to expect it more often. It can't just be like, we've dated for 5 months, we're going to have sex, and then not have sex for another 5 months, you know? You have sex with them and they're just going to expect it after that. And more often, and it's just, there's so much expectation, so much pressure behind having sex with your partner. It's like, why is it such a big deal? Why can't a relationship be based off love and not having sex with somebody, not that end goal? Why can't you just go jack off to porn like every other fucking human being? And seriously. Bleeding. We covered that. Oh, regret. Every time I have sex, I regret it. I don't even know how to explain this one. I regret it. It's like, I didn't have to do it, but I did it anyway. Why did I do that? Why did I put myself through that? Why did I give myself to this person when I know it's probably not going to last because they're going to want it from me again? There's so much regret that comes with it. Scared of what they think. I mean, if I don't like seeing myself naked, I can't stop thinking, what do they think of me naked? Are they judging my body? Are they judging me? Are they judging my performance? Are they judging how well or lack of well, or are they judging how well or how bad I am performing sexually? I'm just scared of what people think. Like, if I'm having sex with somebody, I'm full of thoughts of what they might be thinking about me. About my body, about my performance, about anything, really. It's just judgment. I'm scared of their judgment and what they think about me. I'm not confident, generally speaking. But in bed, I am definitely not confident. Being in a long-term abusive relationship, I never really had control. I've never really had control sexually. I could control who I slept with, but that was about it. I was always, for lack of a better word, dominated. And so I never really got to branch out and discover things for myself. How my body works and how I can use it to perform. So I never really got to have that kind of control. So in bed, I don't know what I'm doing. If my partner isn't going to take control, I have no clue what I'm doing. And that makes me really anxious. That makes me freak out. It makes me tense up. It makes me scared and makes me want to crawl into a little ball because I'm so embarrassed by it. By not knowing what I'm doing. Next one is sexual assault. I think that one just stands for itself as a reason why I don't want to have sex. Being sexually assaulted. Okay, kids. Of course this one's gonna come out. It's pretty obvious. It's not that I don't want kids. I mean, I didn't want kids until I had that choice taken away from me. Sorry, that piece of hair was annoying me. Okay, so I have very high fertility and get pregnant very easily, but I can't carry, and that is that's an emotional roller coaster on its own. It makes it very difficult because I don't want to put myself through that. What if I get pregnant? I don't have the willpower or that emotional distance to abort. I don't have it in me to be able to abort. I mean, I have nothing against it. People who abort, that's their own decision. It's their body, it's their life. They can do whatever the fuck they want, but that's not me. I can't do it. I've had that opportunity and I couldn't do it. And so I will stick with it even though I know that I'm going to miscarry because my body can't carry. I'm unable to carry a child. And so I don't want to put myself through that. And if I don't have sex, I can't risk getting pregnant. And can't risk putting myself through all of that emotional shit all over again. It's just, it's too much, you know? And if I can avoid it at all costs, then I fucking will. Now, all of these reasons mixed into one little ball of why I don't want to have sex is why I don't want to have sex. Which makes it very difficult to be able to get into a relationship. Because I don't want to have sex with my partner. Or anyone. I don't like being touched in that way. You know, the only person who's able to get that close to me is me. And I still don't like doing that. So, it makes for a very lonely lifestyle, I guess. I mean, I'm still up for dating. I just want to make it very clear with these people that I'm not going to have sex with them. Maybe I will, once in a fucking blue moon. But that's it. And that may not even just be it. Like, anyway, I think that wraps up this video. I'm so sorry for the TMI, the awkwardness. It's just, this is just something that I deal with, that I live with. I also know that a lot of people with eating disorders don't have a sex drive, and that's a pretty common thing, so maybe you can relate to me on that. I don't know, maybe you can relate to the things that I've said in this video. If you do like it, leave me a comment, I guess. I love you all so fucking much. So fucking much.